You're making a big mistake here.
Yeah, never heard that before.
It was over. I was going to jail. But at least it was better than getting killed by Damien. Get down!
And there's a clip from the brand new second season of Impastor, the TV Land comedy about a ne'er-do-well con man pretending to be a small-town gay pastor. And joining us now to discuss the second season of Impastor is the star actor Michael Rosenbaum. Michael, yes,
you call me a star.
You are the star.
Well, that wasn't a very funny clip. That was an intense clip.
It was intense, but there's a lot of dark humor in the show,
But
right?
yeah, there is some dark humor. I like it. It's a little combination. We got a little taste for everybody. We got darkness. We got some. I show my ass a few times. There's some sex. There's some drugs. There's some sweetness. But it's all rolled up in a nice one big joint.
You're right. It does sound like there's something for everyone.
Tanya, are these real books? I mean, a lot of times
they are real books, Michael.
They are. This is who is this? This is the Ice Cream Queen.
Do you want to know
of
how many people actually ask us about those books? It's so funny. I get so many people emailing me saying, "What are the books on the set?" People like to know that stuff.
Is this real?
That's not real.
It's not. I thought it was an aloe plant.
That's not real.
I have a little abrasion on my shaving cheek. My shaving cheek.
Oh my God.
I shave one cheek.
So tell us about Buddies. Looks like you have a lot of fun playing.
Well, you said it. Ne'er-do-well. Yeah, it's early this morning for me. It's very early. What is it, noon?
Yeah.
You know, he comes from the wrong side of the tracks. I think he's got a good soul, but he didn't have the greatest upbringing. And he's sort of this guy who has been an opportunist. He wants to, you know, have the nice things in life, but he doesn't want to earn them, so he steals them or he...
But how much fun is it to play a character like that?
It's great, and it's great because I didn't grow up, I'm not religious or anything. I'm a Jew, but because my parents were Jewish, so you're a Jew.
You fell into it.
Jewish. And, you know, what happens is, the funny thing is I'm playing a guy who's supposed to be gay, who is I'm playing a fake pastor in this Lutheran church.
So fun.
So it's this Jewish kid who's actually playing this. So it's like this, you know, it's fun to play a guy who's supposed to be gay. So I have to pretend, oh yeah, but I love women. So all the girls in the congregation.
That is fun, and they all think you're safe, so they all flirt with you.
Yeah, oh,
in
he's
that way
a
that women
pastor.
flirt with gay men, right?
He has no VD. How can a pastor have VD?
So you're also the executive producer on this show.
Yeah.
So how closely did you work with creator Christopher Vane, and how closely do you work with the writers?
Really close.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't want to do the show unless I could be part of it.
Right.
A lot of times they say, "Oh, we'll just give him an EP credit, and he can, you know, he's
He'll
an
be
actor."
happy.
But they know how, you know, I wanted to be very involved with the show, and you know, especially with casting, I wanted to have the right cast. So I read with every actor that came in, almost every actor, and then if they liked them, we'd have to test them. So I'd have to go to the test screenings with them and read and really try to get them the part. And I mean, it was a lot of fun. And when I have issues, I'll call Chris and we'll talk about things. And he lets me improvise. We have a great relationship.
I was going to ask you about, in a show like this, it looks like there must be some room for improv when you're shooting, right?
Yeah, the scenes where you see my naked rear end are not written. And there's probably 4 or 5 of them in the first 2 seasons. But, you know, it's always, we do this burp toss. It's called the burp toss. Can we
What,
talk
pray
about
tell,
that?
is that?
Well, it's just, pray tell. You know, it's one of those things where you're, you know, drinking a beer and then you have a little, and you just throw it. It's just a burp and catch and you toss it. And I just do one of those, and I did it on camera, and the whole crew laughed, and Chris laughed, and we kept a couple of them in there. And yeah, it's fun. You never know what's going to happen. So we roll cameras. He's like, look, get one that's written and then do a Rosenbaum.
Which is the one that usually airs.
And hopefully it doesn't Rosenbaum,
right.
like some of the movies I've done.
So is there something kind of different about season 2 that you can tell us without giving it all away?
Yes, I'd love to. You know, a lot of people will just say, oh yeah, it's so much better. And it's just so much more ambitious. I worked a lot more this season. I mean, 14-hour days, and we were on location all the time. We're in the woods, and there's killings, and there's so many things going on this season that it's a balancing act. Like Buddy has to, like, these guys after me, this guy after me. People in the congregation are starting to figure things out. So it's how am I going to keep my cover? I can't blow this cover.
So fun. So are you fried now after all that? I mean, you're having a nice time now that the season's over?
Yeah, you know, I just saw Lionel Richie and Hall & Oates last night in Vegas. I had a little cold, but you know Lionel Richie?
Yeah,
I got a satin jacket that says running with the night. We were running with the night. Come on, you guys know this. Playing in the shadow.
Oh my God, I love it.
A lot of fun,
We also loved you as Lex Luthor in Smallville. So do you like playing villains? Is that a fun thing?
Yes, you know, Buddy, the great thing about Buddy, he's not really a villain. He's just a guy who's
a sweet villain.
He's trying to do right, and, you know, but both of them have similarities. Where is there water here? You got a
There
fancy
is.
paper cup here?
Only the best here at the Wall Street Journal.
Thanks, Tanya. That wasn't a bong hit. Lex Luthor had, this overbearing father, and his mother died at a young age, and he didn't have any role models, and he lost his hair when he was like 8 in this meteor accident, and so he had a lot of bad things happen to him, and he just went down the wrong path.
So you kind of feel sorry for him.
You
in a
feel
way.
sorry for him. I think when you learn about the a villain, you find out why he became the villain. A lot of times these movies, like I'm not going to name any movies,
They're
but
just a cardboard character.
it's just like, oh look, he's crazy and he's weird and he's bad, but we don't know why and we don't care.
And with Lex, we care.
Yeah, and in Buddy, what's great about this season is we take a glimpse into the past and we see why Buddy became sort of who he is, and then you kind of relate to him and go, hey, this is why he smokes pot.
He's so charming already. You can't help but root for Buddy, right?
Right?
I mean,
So you watch the show. There's this girl over here. What was her name, Aaron? The girl out here. Judy, who
big
works
fan?
here, she came up and she goes, are you the ambassador? I'm like, who paid you to say that? She goes, no, we watched all the time. One season 2. I'm like, it's Wednesday.
I'm sure that happens to you all the time.
You know what? It was actually fun because usually it's Lex Luthor, especially when I was bald.
Right. So now it's Impastor.
And Tanya, all my fans when I was on Smallville, it was like, goth people. People who followed The Cure.
Yeah.
They like the dark, brooding, bald guy.
Now you get the cute girls coming up.
Well, now I get
hallway.
all sorts of people. It's nice.
Michael, so good to see you. Thanks so
Tanya.
much for coming.
Thanks for having me.